Happy birthday. Get in the box.
Excuse me?
Get in the box.
I don't want to get in a box.
You're over 40. This is your box. We're shipping you to no man land.
Don't you mean no man's land?
No.
Is it hot?
The only thing hot are the flashes.
That's not funny.
It's kind of funny.
I don't want to get in a box, and I don't want to go to no man land. I want love. I want weddings.
You get weddings as the mother of the bride.
I want guys.
You get guys who are your neighbor, who you're gonna give advice to as they fall for a woman who just turned 19. Come on, it's not so bad. You can be a career gal. You could be a mom. You could be the bakery bookstore owner aunt who is very concerned about her 20-something nephew and his girlfriend.
I'm out of here.
Where are you going?
Hi, my name's Bea. Welcome to my channel, Mama Needs to Read Romance. Romance with heroines in their 40s and 50s who are just getting started. I love variety when I read, whether my heroine's 22 or 23. I'm just kidding. You know what though? Sometimes I like a little more variety. I love heroines in their 20s and 30s, absolutely. But I was so excited when my channel members decided that this would be today's video theme. Heroes and heroines in their 40s and 50s. Many of these I've read, some of these I've done research on, and now I've added them all to my TBR. I can't wait. We've got a little bit of something for everyone. We've got sweet and clean, spicy, hockey, alien, paranormal romance, fantasy romance, contemporary romance, historical romance. I've also got sapphic and MM romances too. We've got it all, and I can't wait to share it with you today. Let's start with my sweet clean offering for people who only read that, so we'll do that one first for you guys. Here's Bethany Turner's Cole and Layla Are Just Friends. I actually had the pleasure of interviewing Bethany Turner not too long ago on my channel. I'll have it linked above in case you want to learn even more. I love talking to her, and I really enjoyed this book as well. We have two people that are both about to turn 40. They've been friends forever, and Cole is about to maybe make a huge life change, going from small town to life in New York City. Layla travels with him to see what life would be like for him there. These two friends get to experience all the fun fall feels. We get some small town and some big city, and just the right amount of chemistry and sweet spice. And yes, I know they're 39, but they're about to be 40. I'm counting it. Everybody else is in their 40s or 50s. I'm telling you. You know what I've just decided? Let's do chapters at the bottom because we're all over the place, and I know not everybody's interested in everything. So we'll do that. I'm maybe better known for historical romance, so let's hit those next. Let's talk about Waiting for a Scot Like You by Eva Lee. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. This is book 3 of the Union of the Rakes. It makes me want to read the entire series. We've got a woman who is 46 years old. She's got grown children. Her husband is gone. She wants to live a little, so she needs an escort to a country home for a frivolous weekend, shall we say. Our man is a grumpy former soldier who's only 34. She's a free spirit. He's buttoned up. The two of them together, mwah, I had a blast. And initially it was raunchier than I'm used to, so I was like, I don't know if this is for me. But by the end, the emotional punch had me boo-hooing. It was so good. I loved it. Let's talk about the passion of the purple plumeria. Try saying that 3 times fast. This is the Pink Carnation series number 10 by Lauren Willig. We have Colonel William Reed, who's ready to retire from the military. His children are all grown up or out of the house when he discovers that one of his daughters has been abducted from her boarding school. Apparently, this is happening more and more. So Gwendolyn Meadows, who's actually a spy, is tasked with helping him get the girls back and find out who's doing this so they can stop it once and for all. We've got another gorgeous purple or lavender dress on the cover of The Countess Conspiracy by Courtney Milan. This is the Brothers Sinister series, book 3. This sounds so good. We have a rake named Sebastian, because aren't they all? And he's a womanizer. So he's reviled, but he's also loved because he's got these incredible scientific theories that make him the toast of the ton. Here's the problem. His theories aren't his. They're actually Violet Waterfield's. She is a widowed countess who's been using him sort of as a puppet, if you will, to get her thoughts out there, because unfortunately at this time she can't as a woman. One day though, he threatens to out her to society. The only way to get him to be quiet though is, well, maybe you need to read and find out. I think you can guess. Oh, here's one that sounds so good. Wicked Again by Kathleen Ayers. This is book 7 of the Wicked series. We have a woman who's had 3 husbands. They all passed away. She considers only one to have been a love match. And having failed at love multiple times, she's decided that going forward, she only wants trysts. That's all she needs in her life. But unfortunately, one of her trysts has fallen madly in love with her. She has said, no, thank you. But some time passes and his oldest daughter is now going to have her very first season. He's a widower, by the way. Should have mentioned that. And he now needs his former lover, Lady Marissa's help with his daughter. This one sounds delicious and a little scandalous. It's the Surrey SFS Society, book number 4, At His Lady's Command by Nicola Davidson. SFS, by the way, stands for the Surrey Sexual Freedom Society, where unconventional and uninhibited ladies and gentlemen discuss all matters erotic. That's the tagline, by the way. We have an older woman, a younger man. Yes, I know again. He is her bodyguard. She has an affair with him. But then her family threatens her and says, look, if you want to keep your inheritance, you're going to have to get married. She was perfectly content. I'm talking about her like she's real. She is perfectly content to be unmarried, childless. She's good to go as long as she's got some adorable gentleman warming her bed at night. But again, she's got to choose now between her secret love affair with her bodyguard or marrying a peer. What's a girl to do? I need to find out. I'm in love with this cover, Shayna Galen's A Duke a Dozen, which is book 6 of the Survivor series. Okay, there's a lot going on in this one, even just in the 2-paragraph summary, so I'll try my best to tell you without reading it to you. Phineas Duncombe is the 9th Duke in line. They all seem to be unable to stay alive. He travels to the country to be with our mid-40s widow, Annabelle, who married an elderly Duke who has since passed on, and is very content with her life on her own in the country. She needs Phineas to help her find her long-lost daughter, and he needs her because he's falling in love. There's more to it, but again, I don't want to read you the summary. If it sounds interesting, check it out. I got it linked in my description box. Oh man! The Dukes of War number 6, Erica Ridley, writing The Pirate's Tempting Stowaway. We've got, again, 2 older people, very content in their lives, until we've got our pirate who abducts his gal. She's not a stowaway yet, but she's going to be, because the 2 of them fall for one another, but he still drops her off after kidnapping her, unloading her like so much cargo. She then stows away back on his ship to convince him that they're perfectly suited. This sounds crazy, and I'm here for it. I have been dying to read this one. I've heard great things. His Study in Scandal, which is book 2 of Megan Frampton's School for Scoundrels series. Alexandra, Duchess of Chelmsford, is ready to just live some life before it's too late. She's tired of mourning her husband, so she decides to go to one of those pleasure gardens where she has a tryst with someone, fully expecting never to see him again. Unfortunately, he is engaged to her stepdaughter. Insanity ensues. I've got to read this. Okay, I told you I wasn't going to read you any of these. I just want to read this one, okay? The Spy Who Seduced Her by Christy Caldwell. This is Brethren series number 1. It's the first in the series. How exciting. A widow with a past. The last thing Victoria Barrett, the Countess of Waters, has any interest in is romance. When the only man she's ever loved was killed, she endured an arranged marriage to a cruel man in order to survive. Now widowed, her only focus is on clearing her son's name from the charge of murder. That is, until the love of her life returns from the grave. What? A leader of a once great agency, Nathaniel Archer, the Earl of Exeter, head of the Crown's elite organization, the Brethren, is back on British soil. Captured and tortured 20 years ago, he clung to the memories of his first love until he could escape. Discovering she has married whilst he was captive, Nathaniel sets aside the distractions of love until an unexpected case is thrust upon him to solve the murder of Viscount Waters. Goosebumps, people, goosebumps. There is just one complication. The prime suspect's mother is none other than Victoria, the woman he once loved with his very soul. Secrets will be uncovered and passions rekindled. Victoria and Nathaniel must trust one another if they hope to start anew in love and life, but will duty destroy their last chance? Let's find out. Let's read it now. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we need to finish this video first. And before we finish up historical romance, I gotta talk about some secondary characters that really steal the show. In Devil in Spring by Lisa Kleypas. This is book 3 of the Ravenel series. We've got Sebastian and Evie, who many of you would have fallen in love with in Devil in Winter, which is the Wallflowers original series. Well, these two living and loving in their 40s or 50s. I'm not really sure, but it works. It's heaven. We also get to see them more in book 5 of the Ravenel series, Devil's Daughter, as well as book 7, Devil in Disguise. Oh, what an incredible couple. Can't recommend it highly enough. My girls and I, by the way, Christy of Christy Reads a Lot, Tiffany of Tiff Talks Pages, Rachel of Rachel Reads and Sings, and Avery of Ava's Romance Books. They're going to be doing the Ravenel's Read Along the second half of 2025. Currently, we're doing the Wallflowers Read Along. We're going to switch to the Hathaways beginning in January, and then as soon as we're done with the Hathaways, we're moving right into the Ravenel. So hopefully you can join us. All right, let's move to contemporary romance and start with what else? The most scandalous. Because why not? It's Well Bred by A. Anders, also known as Adriana Anders, which is book 1 of Whatever It Takes. We have a woman who's 40 and she's decided that she wants to have a baby. There's no man in the picture, but handsome ex-con Jake Brand is happy to help her. She places rules at his feet, which he promptly then kicks away. Looks intense, spicy, exciting, and fun. Kathy Yardley has a couple that I've been dying to read. I've had them on my TBR. I haven't had a chance yet. In fact, I think they're even on my Kindle Unlimited shelf. This one's role playing. I just love this. We've got Maggie, who's 48 years old. Her college-age son makes her a deal. He'll be more social if she does the same. So for her to keep up her end of the bargain, she decides to join an online gaming club where she's met a gentleman who's 50. He thinks she's a college student. She thinks he's an octogenarian. But they develop this incredible friendship online as they gameplay, and then they meet in real life, and they're like, whoa. But they both have a lot of baggage. This does seem like it's got some heavier themes, but it still sounds really good, and I'm looking forward to it. This one just came out in July. Do me a favor. About two neighbors. I'll read you the tagline. A delectable rom-com about a widowed cookbook writer and a divorced handyman who find out that it's never too late for a fresh start. They're neighbors, and apparently there's a farm involved, which sounds fun. The two fall into an escalating cycle of favors and paybacks and attraction until they just can't hold it back anymore. Sounds fun. I fell absolutely in love with The Curse of Nona Mae Taylor by Jess K. Hardy, which is a paranormal romance. But when I heard that she's writing a series called the Bluebird Basin series about characters all in their 50s, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so neat. I'll read you the taglines here because they're so good. Come as you are is a later in life small town rock star romance with lots of heat and even more heart. I also love this quote from the story. This is a former rock star, by the way. He says to her, I've got to admit, it's pretty strange to finally meet the woman you wrote a love song about 30 years after you wrote it. Oh, I love that line. We've got 46-year-old Ashley Cook. She owns a mountain home, which her ex-husband is threatening to take away from her. Thankfully, she's found friends in the gentlemen who live in the sober living home nearby. This is all up in the mountains, lots of snow. They've been helping her take care of it. She picks up a very intense friendship with recovering addict and ex-grunge singer, 53-year-old Matthew. She offers to give him skiing lessons. He offers to help train her new St. Bernard rescue dog. How cute. And friendship turns into so much more. Sounds really neat. Book 2 in the series also sounds incredibly cute. We've got two characters in their 50s, a punk rocker from Seattle, and then our gal is in the same small town in Bluebird Basin. She's a bakery owner, and she's in that sandwich generation, caring for ailing parents as well as her 14-year-old son. Everybody's giving her trouble, and she's feeling terribly lonely. So when she needs to go to her ex-husband's wedding to a new woman, she asks Cole Sanderson if he's willing to be her fake date. She's a little hesitant to really start something real despite the fact that their chemistry is off the charts, but he's willing to go for it, and he goes out on a limb for her. It sounds really fun. Now, I've got a caveat for this one. It's really highly rated, but it's very underread. It's only got 18 reviews on Goodreads, and I know not everybody cares about Goodreads, but I'm just telling you, this is one of those maybe hidden gems we can discover together. This is Shell Shocked, a Gen X love story about a woman who gets a chance to fall for her teenage crush, a former musician, 30 years later. Doesn't that sound like a dream many of us wish we could live? She is a pinup style salon owner trying to get on his now reality show, and he falls hard for her. She has feelings for him, but she's married. However, later on, her husband is no longer in the picture, and now they have a chance to express all the feelings they felt. This looks like it could be really good. If you read this, let us know in the comments what you thought. I'm so excited about this one. Birding with Benefits by Sarah T. Dub. I actually got this from Deborah, and she and I are going to buddy read this. These characters are in their 40s, by the way. The tagline says it all. A divorcee embarks on her year of yes and crosses paths with a shy but sensitive bird watcher who changes her life in this charming rom-com that is perfect for fans of Christina Lauren and Allie Hazelwood. Say less. Let's do it. Looks like some quick fun is in store here for Fanning the Flames by Victoria Dahl, which is the novella prequel to the Jackson Girls Night Out series. We have a divorcee librarian who is trying her darndest not to show all the attraction she feels towards fire captain Jake Davis. Not only do they work in the same building, he's friends with her ex. But one night at a bar on a walk home that's not so innocent, things heat up big time. But can he convince her that he's more than just a fling? We'll have to read and find out. Author Kristen Ashley has written quite a few contemporary romances about characters in their 40s and 50s, and this one is no exception. It's Colorado Mountain Series Book 2, Sweet Dreams, about a high-class woman who starts working in a mountain biker bar called Bubba's, and then crosses swords with Tatum Jackson, who thinks she'll never fit in. He's the bartender and part owner, by the way. So they have to work together, but before they know it, he wants her to be his. Oh man, this one seems angsty and intense. It's Chaos Series Book 4 by Kristen Ashley, Walk Through Fire, about initially two younger people. I'm hoping they're in their 20s because 20 years later we get more. Anyway, my point is they were in love, deeply, deeply in love, but she realized she had to cut him loose. So she betrayed him. Now a ghost of her former self 20 years later. He's gotten married and divorced, but all of a sudden the love of his life walks back into his life. Initially, he just wants revenge, but before he knows it, he wants something more. Whoa! I love Olivia Dade for the plus-size heroines that she writes about, and many of her books also feature characters in their 40s, which I love too. I really enjoyed Teach Me, which is book 1 of There's Something About Marysburg, which, as you may have guessed, is about teachers. Initially, our heroine, who's been single and perfectly content, she's an incredible teacher, a keystone of her community, but now is feeling like this new guy who's just moved in, super hot, single dad, is here to usurp her power, and she's not happy about it. But quickly she finds out he's a cinnamon roll hero at heart. It's good stuff. And does this one sound fun? This is the next one I need to read. This is 40 Love, which is book 2 of There's Something About Marysburg, also by Olivia Dade. We've got a 40-something gal. She's actually a assistant principal, but she's on vacation. One day she's in the water and her bikini top pops off. Thankfully, there's a 26-year-old Swede former tennis pro who's there to save the day and kind of cover her up in the ocean, I'm guessing with himself. He's also offering lessons at the resort where she's staying, and soon he's teaching her a little more than tennis. The thing is, summer's coming to a close. Do they have what it takes to keep it going? Or is it going to just be a summer fling? We'll have to read and find out. This one's Mad About You, which is book 1 of Common Threads by Susanna Nix. It's pretty straightforward. We have a woman who she owns a yarn store, and a man comes back into her life who broke her heart 30 years prior. He has had 2 divorces since, and he tries to convince her that he's worth betting on again. Looks good. Karen Booth has written an entire 3-book series called the Never Too Late series, which sounds like all kinds of fun. Book 1 is called Gray Hair Don't Care. We have a 47-year-old heroine who gets the chance for a one-night stand with her college crush all those years later, and in her post-loving bliss, she confesses that she was once in love with him, which prompts him to leave as soon as she falls asleep, because he doesn't do feelings. She decides, you know what, time to turn over a new leaf, and though she's been dyeing her hair for most of her life, she's decided to let it go gray. 3 years later, they're thrown back together, and he sees this silver-haired beauty and is totally thrown by her. And speaking of thrown, they keep getting thrown together again and again, and he realizes maybe feelings aren't so bad after all, especially for a woman as incredible as this. In book 2, Brooklyn Monroe Wants It All, our heroine, who's 42, decides she wants a baby before it's too late. So she's out looking for someone who can help her, and unfortunately becomes a meme. She then goes on live television to try to explain it all away, and is interviewed by none other than her ex, who is a famous television show host. I think love might ensue. And then we have book 3 of the series, It's a Widow Thing. We've got 2 neighbors in the same building who both want love. Although she just wants a fling, he wants something more after a health scare. She's a widow and isn't ready to put her heart on the line, so he's gonna have to prove it to her. Let's talk sapphic romance. This is Love at 350 by Lisa Peers. I loved this one. I got the advanced reader's copy about two women, both in their 40s. They were so mature. This was so beautifully written. And though it's very low on spice, it's huge on emotion and deep connection, which I adored. We have a woman whose twins are going off to college. She needs a fresh start. She's an incredible baker, so they actually submit her without her knowledge to a baking show. She winds up being a contestant and falling for one of the hosts. The host, however, is all work, no play. But the two of them, in conversation and through notes passed secretly, because of course they can't have a relationship, learn to live and love fully. Oh, it was so good. I just adored Rachel Reed's hockey romance, Time to Shine. So during my research, when I discovered she wrote one about a over 40 hero in this hockey romance, Common Goal, which is book 4 of Game Changers, I was so excited to present this in this video. We have veteran goaltender Eric Bennett, who decides to embark on a friends with benefits arrangement with graduate student Kyle, who's nursing his own broken heart. Kyle always thought he'd be with a guy his own age, but falls for the Silver Fox Eric. Eric wants to teach him a few things and then move on, but I don't think Kyle's ready for that. Now let's talk about fantasy and paranormal romances featuring heroes and heroines in their 40s and 50s. I have 2 books for you that are both novellas, both written by authors who I adore for their alien romances, actually. We've got Gail's Family, which is part of the Ice Home series. This is about a woman in her 40s or 50s, and Vaza, the alien, who's probably way older than that, considering they live a long time and it takes a long time for them to age. I loved seeing 2 people in advanced age really being hot for one another, flirting with one another. The deep emotional connection too was so much fun. Not only that, this is called Gail's Family because they choose to adopt a little one who's in need of a loving home. Ruby Dixon talked about how she wanted to write something where 2 people who have been through it just get to enjoy a love story. So there's very low angst in this one. And can't recommend it highly enough. We also have Claws in the Snow, which is a holiday bear shifter romance written by Liz Paffel, who you may know from her alien romances or her bear shifter romances. This one was fantastic, about a woman who is trying very hard not to show the intense attraction that she feels, which is mutual, for her ex-husband's brother. This is a bear shifter who winds up showing her protection and love. They have had feelings for one another forever, but they're too respectful to really go for it. And this one had just the right amount of spice and some holiday feels as well. I really enjoyed it. I've heard incredible things about T. Kingfisher. This is Sword Heart, which is part of the World of the White Rat series. This one features Hala, who is a housekeeper who discovers that there is an ancient gentleman held captive inside this sword, who then, once he's free, protects her and falls in love. Here's one that's got great reviews by thousands of people, American Witch by Thea Harrison. We have a woman who discovers that her husband's cheating on her, and her rage actually brings out her witchy magic. She didn't even know she was a witch before this point. She joins a coven with a very powerful warlock who is on a mission, but is willing to help her understand her powers while she is in the process of divorcing her husband. Apparently sparks fly in every kind of way, and it sounds fascinating. K.F. Breen has written a 10-book series called Leveling Up, which includes stories about women who have already done what society anticipated of them, and now they're ready to live life on their own terms, with some magic thrown in. I'm going to have the entire series linked in my description box if you want to learn more. I've got one more series for you, Magic After Midlife, which is 7 books written by Deborah Wild, featuring mature heroes and heroines with all kinds of magical abilities. It looks really neat. Well, those were the books that I found. What have you read or know of that we need to know about? Leave it in the comments below. You know we'd all love to know. And now it's time to do some shout outs for my channel members. I'm so incredibly excited. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Let's do some shout outs. I am so excited to announce that Carissa of Boxers and Books has joined us. Thank you so much, Carissa, for becoming a queen bee. I can't tell you how excited I am. Need to thank Florence Bliss for becoming a beloved reader. Florence Bliss, who you may have seen on my channel a few times, she's the author of Taken by His Sword, which I just loved. I love her, and I can't believe she joined as a beloved reader. Thank you so much, Florence. You made my day. And Kristen Lee joined. Oh my gosh, Kristen, you're so great. Thank you so much for joining at the Queen Bee level. I'm so happy you're with us. Not only that, we have Lisa at Lisa Mug Scraps who's joined us, also as a Queen Bee. Thank you so much, Queen. I'm so glad you're here. My girl Amina joined as a beloved reader. Thank you so much, Amina. I'm so excited to continue this journey, which I think you've been with me since the very beginning, and I love that now you're a channel member. How cool. I was so excited that Paige of Paige's Book Shack joined us as a honeybee. Thank you so much, honey, for joining. We're gonna have so much fun. You know, I don't know if you guys heard, but Paige, oh man, she is a scientist and she works in this lab, and her arch nemesis is now working with her. They hate each other. They've hated each other since grad school. What is Paige gonna do? Well, maybe she's gonna give in to temptation and be with one of the hottest guys, and who turns out to be one of the sweetest guys of all time. That's you, Paige, right? That's you. Or am I thinking of the plot of Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood? Mwah. I also want to thank Roxy, who joined as a Queen Bee. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I can't tell you how much your membership means. Carol is another one of our newest Queen Bees. Thank you, Queen. I can't tell you how excited I am to continue on this journey with you. Jaylee Lee, another one of my honeys, joined as a honeybee. I'm so excited for all the fun we're about to have. Thank you, Jaylee Lee. I want to thank Nicole C. for joining at the Queen Bee level. Thank you so much, Queen, for joining me. I love how you said you're just buzzing with joy to be here. How perfect. Also, did you guys know that Nicole, she's had this crush on a guy. He's part of an incredible family. She's kept her crush under wraps for a long time, but one summer she winds up living in this house with this guy for quite a while, and it turns out they both benefit from a marriage of convenience. But, oh my gosh, Nicole, she and this guy, they learned a lot about love and their lives. That's you, Nicole, right? Or am I thinking of With You Forever, book 4 of the Berkman Brothers series by Chloe Leese? Oh, it's one of my favorites. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is you're reading, regardless of the hero or heroine's age. Until next time, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.